I'm Lynn Saggs. I am the marketing senior for Stone Rudolph and Henry accounting firm. And we just want to thank you for your interest. We felt like that this was a great need for this information in our community. And we just want to be a part in helping our small businesses succeed. You are a privileged group, no matter what size it is, because you're the first group to start this academy off with that we are hoping to make an annual event. So you are the foundation for this series, and we have had community leaders already asking if they could be in on the next one that we do. And we've also had a request from an organization for us to come in and do this series of classes too. I know that we're going to be providing a wealth of information over the coming weeks, and it's going to be coming from a group of a variety of community leaders, including some from Stone Rudolph and Henry. So I'll tell you just a little bit about us as an organization. We are an accounting firm. We've been in business for over 65 years. We are located with 2 offices, one here in Clarksville and one in Brentwood. And some of the services that we provide is tax services, tax planning, audit services, business accounting, and consulting. And we also have affiliate partnerships with firms that provide our clients legal consulting, financial consulting and planning, and elder care planning. You will get to hear from some of those partners as well as some of our staff in the coming weeks. And then you'll hear a little bit from me later on in the very last class on marketing and branding. So other than that, I guess we can get started, and I hope you have fun and ask questions. And so I'll hand it back over to Lorna.
Thank you so much. You know, this is a community type event. We wanted to kind of integrate some networking into it. So we will have you introduce yourselves in a minute. But let me turn it over to Len Stoltz so he can introduce himself. He works with me here at the Small Business Development Center. You'll be seeing our faces a lot throughout the 5 to 6 week series. And I just want Len, just introduce yourself, tell us more about who you are and anything else you want to provide.
Well, I'm Len Stoltz, and I work with Lorna. I'm a small business consultant, and I actually came out of the corporate world, and I've been in Clarksville now for 20 years, and for on and off for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been working for the Small Business Development Center. And that's me.
Thank you so much. All right, so what I'm going to do, if you don't mind telling us more about yourself when I call your name. I'm going to allow someone to talk. We're going to make this community feeling here. Jessica Johnson, if you don't mind unmuting, telling us about yourself, who you are, why you decided to be a part of this webinar tonight.
Absolutely. Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Jessica Johnson. I am a graduate, an alum, as well as a current student of Austin Peay. I'm currently obtaining my doctorate in education. Awesome. And I've gotten my associate's, bachelor's, and master's from Austin Peay. So that's how I first heard about this opportunity, was through being a student, but I'm no stranger to the Clarksville community either. First moved here. I think that's everyone's story. It's like, when did you first come and then when did you come back? So I first came as a result of my father's military service at Fort Campbell when I was younger, and moved away and then decided to come back for college. And so I've been here consistently ever since 2008 when I first attended Austin Peay. And so I've been in this community for a long time. My mother is actually born and raised from Clarksville, which is what brought me here. So this was like the only quote unquote home that I've known, because it's the only place that's been relatively consistent because of us moving, with my father being in the military. So it's been good. So I'm interested in this webinar because I am in a space where I'm considering starting my own small business, and didn't exactly know where to start. And I think that there's been a lot of information that I've gathered just around the different things that I should do, could do. But when I saw this as a resource through my own institution, I thought, what better way to get started than to kind of do some information gathering and really get down into some of the meat, the bones before I get to the meat. And so that's the purpose for me being here right now.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Next, let's go to Mike.
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm in a foreign state of Missouri, so my name is Mike Chitwood. Much like Jessica, my father retired from the military, Fort Campbell, and went to school at Montgomery Central, graduated, went into the pipeline business, and worked for Clarksville Gas and Water for about 15 years, and now kind of on my own, working for a sales company as a manufacturer's rep. And there in our industry, there's been a lot of high focus in the natural gas world on renewables, and some of the products that we carry, we're kind of venturing off into RNG world. But with that, state and federal government also mandates all utilities have to upgrade their facilities every so often, and not getting too much into the weeds, but I started a small business 2 years ago to address some of these issues that utilities in the Southeast are encountering with corrosion, things of that nature. So kind of jumped into it as a hobby, and now it's becoming across 4 states. So in that Rudolph, Henry, Stone, Henry, and Rudolph, I get them mixed up, but they've done my taxes for the last few years. And so with them during their marketing venture and everything, I thought this would be a good thing to kind of look at and make sure that I'm doing the appropriate things as far as operating a small business. Anything else?
No, thank you so much for being with us. Let's go to Joy next.
So I'm actually a small business owner that I'm closing down a small business in another state. And one of the things that we realized is we didn't open it well, we didn't operate it well, and we didn't close it very well. So I'm at the point now where I'm going to be opening a business here in Nashville. And I've been working with the CPA firm there, and just trying to do this better. So I'm trying to start over and do a better job as we begin.
Thank you. And Lynn, yeah.
Yeah, this is Lynn number 3, I think. But yes, I'm in the field of education right now, and my husband and I have technically it is a small business. It's an LLC with some rental properties in it. And I've just been kind of thinking about making a career change and just going more into that, but we never set it up thinking in terms of a business. So I really have a lot to learn. And I learned about this through our CPA, so Stone, Henry, Rudolph. So, thanks.
Thank you so much. I'm checking my email quickly to make sure everyone who registered, they're able to get in. Give me 1 minute here. Perfect. Okay. All right, now I am going to share my screen. Can you see my screen, Lynn and Lynn? Several. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. All right, so before we go into business planning, let me just tell you a little more about the Small Business Development Center. We offer one-on-one business counseling, webinars such as this one, business and strategic planning, marketing research. We're currently focused on COVID-19 business support, and all of this is at no cost to you. So if you're interested in all the things we're offering, such as the webinar, if you're interested in some more personalized business support, we can assist you with that. All right, my first question for you, I'm going to bring up polls here. And answer this question, why write a business plan? Is it to get ideas out of your head, increase the odds of success, funding opportunities? Just choose which one you think is the best answer. Perfect. Everyone said all of the above, which is correct. We get the opportunity, Lynn and I, we get the opportunity to spend, I would say about 60% of what we do is spent on businesses and their business planning development. I always tell businesses, you know, you spend a lot of time on business planning, but you need to meet with us first before you start that process, because we know exactly what the banks are looking for if you're interested in getting funding through them. Why write a business plan? You want to comment on this a little bit, Lynn?
Okay, I just needed to unmute. Well, there's a couple reasons that you want to write a business plan. The first one would be if you just want to wrap your head around what your business concept is. It forces you to think about some critical areas that you may not have thought about before. And it forces you to see how everything ties together, from marketing and finance and sales and competition. It forces you to think about how all those things dovetail. And the second reason you would want to do a business plan, and it might be a little bit different from the first, would be to get a loan. You would need to write it knowing that a banker or someone in the financial institutions are going to be looking at what you're writing. And that can be a slightly different twist on the same plan. Not a big difference, but just a little bit. But those are the two reasons that you want to do a business plan.
Perfect. I always say you want to get whatever thoughts are in your head out of your head on paper. I don't know exactly what you're thinking, and until it's on paper and we can read it, we really can't move forward with supporting your business idea. So just like Len said, and also is to put everything you have in your head, just put it on paper, and then we can move forward with the business planning. When to do it? Before you get started, and I know this seems like an obvious answer, but I will tell you over and over and over again. The polls came up again. I will tell you over and over and over again, we have individuals who've been in business 2, 3 years who are just now coming to us to write a business plan because they're looking for funding from the bank. No, before you even get started, before you open that business, we strongly suggest you take the time to complete a business plan. What does a business plan look like? You know, you have some business plans that are 50 pages long, 20 pages long, 100 pages long, and that can be overwhelming for most, especially entrepreneurs. So we have a template for you that we'll send out at the end of our time today. That's no more than 8 pages. It gets to the point because the bank just wants to know who you are, what product you're providing, and how you're planning to repay. That's all they want to know. And of course, the financial projections. So we will help you through that process, not taking 50 whole pages, 100 pages, just simplify the process of who you are, what you plan to offer, and how you plan to repay them. That's what the business plan is all about. So you do it, yes, before you get started, work on the business plan. Also, continue to review the business plan even after your business has started. Most people that write the business plan, they receive the funding, the plan is put away in the bottom of a drawer somewhere and they never revisit it again. Not a good idea. You've spent all the time investing in that business plan, revisit it and see what things you're doing well, what things you need to maybe rethink as you move forward with your business. Anything to add here, Lynn?
Nope.
Okay. The main parts of a business plan. Of course, we have the executive summary, the concept, industry description, and you can go on and see the main parts of the plan. But tonight, we will only focus on these key areas. We know it's kind of late. We're all tired from work and school, so we're going to get to the point so you can enjoy the rest of your night. These are the areas we're going to focus on. Concept. What exactly is in your head? What are you planning on doing in business? The vision, mission, do some more market research. Who is your customer? The economics of it all. What will it take to get your business started? And what monetary steps will you have to take to ensure your business is sustainable? And many of us have seen SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And our favorite part, financial projections. All right, so what is the concept? It's your basic idea. Remember, problem plus solution equals opportunity. So if the concept that you have or the business you're thinking about starting or you currently have does not understand what the problem is, what solution you offer, it's not providing an opportunity to customers. Your concept must be clear, compelling, and detail a plan of action. Anything to add here, Lynn, before I go to the next screen?
No.
All right. Let's take, for example, Better Burger. I know many of you have heard of Better Burger. I mean, it was around for about 2 to 3 years, and then all of a sudden it blew up and everyone likes Better Burger now. So I looked up their concept, and their concept, as stated, clear, compelling plan of action. Clear. The Beyond Burger is the world's only burger that looks, cooks, and tastes. Go back to the screen, sorry. And tastes like ground beef from cows, but it is made entirely from plants. Compelling. The Beyond Burger packs more protein and iron than beef and is a cholesterol-free food with less saturated fat than beef. You see the concept? You see how it's all coming together. Plan of action. Find others with the same needs and offer a solution. So who do you think likes Better Burger? And you can unmute and we can talk about it. Who do you think is really interested in Better Burger?
I would say millennials.
Millennials?
Vegans,
You said what?
vegans,
Vegans, yeah,
People concerned about the environment.
yes. And those who've had to change their eating habits, sometimes the elderly, you know, as it pertains to cholesterol. So they're all appealing, which is why Better Burger is doing so well. They figured out what was needed. They provided a clear solution, something compelling, and then they reached out to the right customers. Why is it doing that? Sorry about that. Next one I want to talk about is Uber. We've all, I'm guessing most of you have used Uber before, but Uber understood the importance of having a value proposition. What exactly are they offering to people? It was a new concept and they had to find a way to attract new customers. So they had to think in this realm, what pain are you alleviating? I always tell clients when you're writing the business plan, think about how you're making someone's life happier, easier, healthier. If you cannot answer those questions, your business plan is not on the right track. So their concept, they said, easiest way around, which is simple to the point And then they also said one tap and a car comes directly to you, hop in, your driver knows exactly where to go. Simple concept, anyone and everyone can grasp it. If you went in to meet with a banker, if you met with a family member and you told them about your concept, if you mention this to them, easiest way around, and some of the other verbiage on this screen, they may be interested in what you have to offer in your concept. Next, Lynn, I'll let you talk about the mission and vision.
Okay, the mission is the action part of your concept. It is what you are currently doing all day, every day, and why you do it. And it should be very core to what your business is. Most good mission statements, and you know, I challenge you to pick out a fairly large company, one that you really admire, and go look at their mission statement. And you're probably going to see that it starts with the word to, and it's going to be about one sentence long. And it's going to be so simple that all the employees can carry it around in their head, and like they can recite it. One of my favorites that I've seen more often than I'd like to admit is the mission statement of Krispy Kreme. And theirs is to make the best donut on the planet every day. That's perfect. And that just says what they do. And it's a call to action as well to their employees. Now, vision statements, usually, well, not usually, but quite often, they're not written down. The vision of an enterprise usually resides in the head of whoever is running it. They know it, they have a vision, but they just have never stopped to write it down. But what it really is, it's their idea of what their business is ultimately going to look like 2 years down the line, 3 or 5 years down the line, if they remain true to their mission. And whether they'll admit it or not, most people who run companies do have a vision, but they just don't elucidate it very well. But it's good that they do, and they share that with the employees, because it is a vital part that steers the actual company.
I know, Joy, you said you had a business in another state and you're moving here. Did you have a mission and vision statement?
With the old business, no, we did not.
And now with the new business you're opening, have you started researching what you want the mission and vision of your business to be and writing it down?
I have started. I've got a huge list of different bullet points. And so I'm just trying now to kind of narrow them down and get like things together so that I can create a mission and a vision statement.
Yeah, great. And of course, as Len said, it guides your business and it guides those who work for you as it pertains to having a mission and a vision, because they know exactly what they should be doing. Here at the center, we were given a mission and a vision statement by SBA, and we always stay within those parameters. And when we're getting out of those parameters, right, Lynn, we go back to mission and vision to make sure we're in line with that. So it's extremely important. And even if you do not have a business, I know some of you are just finding out more about business, you should have a personal mission and vision statement, because it guides every single thing you decide to do.
And one more thing about mission statements, they can serve as a filter for decision making. When you're faced with a decision, it needs to pass the mission test. Does it fit within our mission? If it's yes, then consider it. If it's no, you can still consider it, but it's best just to move on.
Great point. Great point. All right. My favorite part, because that's just my background, marketing, doing some market research. I have individuals who meet with us all the time and they say, everyone's my customer, everyone's my client. Well, everyone cannot be your customer. That's not how business is. You have to identify who your customer is, figure out some demographics, their lifestyle, you know, where they eat, what they do, how and why they would be attracted to what you have to offer. A great example for me personally is Target. I feel like Target knows me from the inside out. They know product placement. They know what to have when you're checking out. I to register because every time I go into Target, I spend a minimum of $100. They have researched me. They know their market. They know who their client is, and they're always doing well because they've done that research. So how do you figure out who your customer is? Strongly suggest some primary market research, meaning you can use Google. Don't get me wrong. Google is a great resource and source, but this is where you're going to have to go to the library, to the archives, some trade books, and kind of figure out, looking forward, who your customer will be. Since COVID-19 happened, the consumer habits have totally changed. So everyone in business are going back to the drawing board and figuring out their market research. No one's being loyal to a brand anymore. People are just switching brands. People are doing a whole lot of different things. So every business right now is on this step, market research. What should they be doing to ensure they attract the right customers? So you can see here, you can speak with family and friends, which I don't usually suggest speaking with family and friends, because unless you have an honest family member, because a lot of times they just tell you what you want to hear. Would you agree, Lynn?
Yes. Mhm.
So let's talk about, if you don't mind talking about surveys, focus groups, and all that, Lynn.
Well, the more you find out, part of demographics is psychographics, and that's how your customers or your potential customers think, as opposed to what they are doing. And I think that's overlooked a lot, and that can come out of focus groups in particular, and the interviews as well.
Great comment. I know a lot of times individuals move forward with getting their business license, their EIN number, all of that before they do their primary market research. And I always say, wait on that. Take about 4 to 6 months to do some market research to figure out, have a more detailed understanding of who your customer is. If you don't know who your customer is, you'll continue to change your mission, change your vision, change what you're doing. And that is taking so much time away from your business being productive. So take the time before you get the business license, before you get the EIN, do market research to see if it's even worthwhile investing in this particular concept that you have. Now let's talk about economics. I know this is you, Lynn, all the way.
Well, I don't know about that.
You love economics.
Well, not really, but having been in the business world, I know how important it is. The only thing I can add, Lorna, I'll let you address these bullet points, but as Lorna knows ad nauseum from me, that I am big on researching cost and cash flow in particular. If you understand how simple a cash flow statement is, you can test your business concept on paper, the success or failure of it, before you invest in it, money wise. So you can, all a cash flow statement is an overblown checkbook register, and you can test the feasibility, like I said, of your business concept before you invest in it, and you're actually looking at dollars that you're projecting. So I'll kick it back over to Lorna to go through the rest of these.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about cash flow throughout the upcoming weeks. We'll actually have a session just on the financial projections. But Len, I know you stated to me, you meet with a lot of clients also who are interested in business planning and completing their business plan. And there's always a halt when they get to the financial projections, right?
Yeah, on their business plan, yes.
Yes. They don't know what to do next or how to even get it started. And that's what we're here to help you with. But the economics part of your business, you want to know what kinds of resources do you need? Don't just assume, do some research, figure out what resources do you need for your business to be successful, what are the main costs? Are they fixed costs? Are they costs that will be the same every month? Are there costs that will change throughout the months? So pay attention to that. Also, what's the price of your product and how much profit do you make per item sold? So cost of goods sold. You want to make sure you know all of that. For the economics part of it, we'll have a full night on that. I think it requires a full night because that is an extremely important part of your business. If you don't have the economics part of it down, it will not be successful. And we've been seeing that over the last 16 to 18 months, as so many businesses, they were able to get started, but they did not keep up with the economics of their business, which is why many of them had to close. They were unable to stay open over 20 days after COVID started because they did not pay as much attention as they should have to the economics. So keep that in mind. Another thing, the risks and assumptions. We have so many clients, they meet with us and they say, oh my God, this is the best concept ever. There's nothing wrong with this concept. It is great. We just need you to fund. We need the bank to fund our idea. Well, in every business, there are some risks. If you don't have risk in business, it's not a good business, right? Would you say, Lynn? It has to
Yeah, that's true, yes.
in business. So you want to verbalize on paper some of the risks you've noticed after your research has been done and some of the assumptions about your industry as you move forward with completing the business plan. As we talked about the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, the SWOT analysis, that will be a very important part of figuring out your risks and assumptions. Would you like to touch on this a little bit, Lynn?
Well, this concept of SWOT has been around for a long time, and it's used not only in business planning, but in a lot of different planning, and it forces you to see how these different, 4 different pieces interact, and it forces you to kind of see the big picture. And it isn't always rosy. Sometimes the weaknesses are the main thing that really pop out. But it's never really a fun thing to do, but it's very necessary. I can put it that way.
Mike, I'm going to pick on you for a minute. Have you done a SWOT analysis recently for your business?
Ironically, I have. I've been familiar with SWOT analysis for a long time, being a manufacturer's rep. That was one of the key strategies that I used in starting my business. The biggest issue I have is when do I get paid?
Yeah. So are you on 30, 45? What's on the contract when you work with these different industries?
I've only got a couple of long-term contracts. They're renewable 1 year to kind of protect against the unknown increase in pricing. As you know, the supply chain right now is skeptical at best. So you got to kind of plan for that as well. But did that answer your question?
Yeah. Just so usually when you send an invoice, you sometimes don't know when you'll be paid. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm getting paid. It's just that I'm investing back into the business and trying to avoid borrowing money. That's what I'm by my comic. I assume everybody has to go through these growing pains, but I'm not taking a salary right now. There's equipment that I need, and so I'm taking the money and reinvesting it into upgrading some equipment and things that I feel like I need to be more successful. And I'm doing that at the cost of my, I guess, my salary from this business.
Yeah. As you continue to grow, you may want to consider, I know you don't want a loan, but there's the EIDL loan that's available to businesses right now at a 3.5 5 or less than that, I can't remember exactly. But if you're interested in the SBA EIDL loan, you have up to 30 years to pay it back and the interest rates are really low. So I've seen a lot of businesses taking advantage of that as they continue to go through growing pains. So that may be something for you to consider. Just want to let you know that.
No, I appreciate that. I would love for you to put your contact information on. I hope you have it on one of these slides, and
Yeah.
perhaps maybe an opportunity to meet in the near future.
Yeah, and I think through the registration, I have your information too, so I can email you.
Sure.
I'll email you. Perfect. So let's just look at one example here of a SWOT analysis that I took from a client who is, let me see which client this was. This is a client who was starting a restaurant type business. So we talked more about the strengths. The strengths is it was in a particular area. I think it was not a Thai restaurant. I forgot exactly what restaurant it was, but there was not another restaurant like that around here, and many people were interested in what they had to offer. So high demand for the services they offered. Weaknesses, limited online presence. No one really knew they existed yet, and limited funds for marketing. So that's some of the weaknesses. The opportunities, the business has the opportunity to attract new clients in need of their services, the opportunities of community input. And then you see here some threats which we're experiencing right now: reduced use of services due to the economy, and other businesses coming around with the same, that offer the same services. So this is just a simple SWOT analysis. Of course, you can provide more detail as you continue to develop your business plan, but this is a great foundation, starting point for you as you think about the SWOT analysis. So now let's talk about what people would like to see in the business plan. Can you touch on this a little for me, Lynn?
Well, why don't you go ahead and do it, Lorna?
You already do it. Lynn loves when I talk all the time, don't you, Lynn? He chimes in when he has to. All right, so different people looking for different things. Friends and family members, what do you think they're looking for if you're asking them to invest in your business? I'm gonna pick on Jessica here for a minute. What do you think your mom, dad, cousins, uncles will wanna know if they're investing in your business?
So first, I think they would want to know what the scalability of the business is. So if I am putting forth any type of investment, whether it's financial, time, effort, support, what is going to be, how do you plan to recoup that investment back to me? I think my friends and family would also want to know, just from a personal level, how committed I am to the growth and the sustainability of that business. So is this something that you're just doing because it just interests you for right now, or is this something that you intend to make a full career? Do you want to transition out of your traditional job to take this on full time? And what are the implications of that to your family? What are the implications of that to your relationships? And then I think they would also just want to know how they could support me. So from an investment standpoint, like I said, there are multiple ways to invest. I think we often just look at it from a financial perspective, but I have family members that are really good in accounting. I have family members that are really good at marketing and, creating digital media and things like that. So that investment can look different according to their ability and their skills. And so I think that they would also want to know just how they could best support me in the effort of starting a business.
Great points. You're so right. It's more than a financial backing, but just know if family members are investing their time in the business, like we like to call it sweat equity, sometimes they may want something in return. So make sure you clarify what they need to do and what they'll be getting in return for doing what they do to get your business started. But great points, Jessica. Lynn, what about lenders? What do you think lenders are looking for?
Well, they are risk averse. We're talking here about bankers and financial institutions. They want to know that you can repay. There's a saying about lenders that they want to know they're going to have three different questions. The first one will be, can you repay? And that has to do with your income. The second question they want to answer is, will you repay? And that's where they look at your credit rating. And the third question they want to have answered is, what happens if you don't repay? And that is collateral. So those are the three different things they're looking at. They want to answer those three questions.
Perfect. And usually when you're in business for the first year, in general, the bank considers that a high risk investment. We're seeing more and more banks wanting to see about 2 to 3 years of revenue, of taxes before they even invest in what you're doing. Currently, if you're thinking about opening a restaurant type business, the banks are turning away from those kinds of investments because we understand what's going on in the world right now with COVID. So another thing, as you approach different individuals who you may want to invest in your business, always remember timing. Timing is everything. So think about that also. I know I asked Lynn, but I want to talk to Lynn, Lynn. Tell us, what do you think private investors are looking for when you are approaching them about a business idea?
Yeah, it seems like they would be, if I were going to be a private investor, I would want to know, what kind of qualifications the person had to do that particular business, how they could, do they have a track record? Do they, just looking kind of at the list that you have here, I can see, you might know all these things about the market, but you might just really want to know more about the person and whether they are able to can convince you that they know enough to do that job.
Yeah, and another thing, great points. Another thing, the banks and a lot, your family members and private investors will be paying attention to is your experience within that field. We have individuals interested in opening restaurants. They have no background in the food industry. Banks are not interested in working with individuals and providing funding to individuals who have no experience in that industry. So you always must think about that. In the business plan, there should be an area in there where you talk more about who you are, what you do, why you think you'll be a great business owner, and your experience within that field. See what time it is, 6:18. We said we'll have you off by 6:30. So we just want to take a few minutes to quickly go over a few takeaways for you to think about. We could spend a whole lot of time discussing business plans, but we've worked in this arena for a while and we know exactly what the banks specifically are looking for and things you need to focus on as you complete your business plan. The main thing, and I know Lynn touched on this, you want to make sure individuals know exactly what you're bringing to the table. How are you making the lives of your customers happier, healthier, easier? Have you actually done your research? Is it evident within the business plan? You took the time not only to do a quick Google search on your industry, but you actually researched more. You had some primary research done on what the industry is currently doing and what you're bringing into that industry. As you continue to build your business plan, in the business plan, you also need to think about the BAIL team. And I added an S to that, the BAILS team. And Lynn is the one who taught me about this. You want to have banker, accountant, insurance agent, lawyer, and I added the S for the Small Business Development Center. These are all key parts of your team. If you do not have all these individuals involved in your team in some form or fashion, it's very difficult for the business to continue to be successful and sustainable. There are many resources we have available online for you to use as you develop your business plan and do some more market research. And Lynn, I know that you've been working a lot with the research that SBA has available. Can you provide some more information on those resources?
Yeah, it falls into three different areas, and I think they structured it because of the way people learn. They have one platform that's called the dashboard, And it's broken into 4 different topics, and each topic has about 4 different courses in it. And these are all videos. For instance, the video on business planning is, it takes you 41 minutes to go through the course, and it's made up of 22 videos. So the videos are very short and very quick and to the point. So the whole dashboard video training platform is like that. Very short videos, everywhere from 30 seconds up to 3 minutes. Then they have the Ascent platform, which is, they say, is primarily targeted to women entrepreneurs. But it's really useful for, for everybody, and it uses a combination of videos, audio, and writing. And the third platform they use is mostly reading and writing, and it's called the SBA Business Guide. And these are all fairly new platforms in the last 6 months, as near as I can tell. But they each approach business planning and business information in slightly different ways. It's worthwhile taking a look at all 3 of them to see which really appeals to you the best.
Perfect. And we'll also send those links out to you when we send you the recording and the other information we have for you on the business template. As we end, just want to remind you, if you plan to fail, you fail to plan. So I'm happy you spent some time with us tonight. I know it's later, so thank you for your time. Do you have any questions for us at all? Feel free to unmute. Hi, Mike, do you have any questions?
No, I was just going to comment. I greatly appreciate you all taking time to kind of direct us as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we wanted to keep it simple and to the point, because sometimes the business planning process can be overwhelming for entrepreneurs and small business owners. And we just wanted to have a quick overview, provide a quick overview of what the business plan is. And then if you would like to meet with us one-on-one to go more in detail, we can always assist with that. But the business plan is important. It doesn't matter if you're starting your business, if you're growing your business, if you've never written a business plan before, it's always a great time to write or review your business plan.
It's been very informative and much appreciative. I think as a small business owner, you get so involved in the daily grind and trying to do the things that are necessary to keep yourself viable and your business viable, and going out and seeking new opportunities and performing the task at hand, that you don't really have time to sit down and look at these things that you brought up on your PowerPoints. And for that, I appreciate it.
Perfect. And I saw Joy's chat information she placed in the chat. I think it's important to do a SWOT at both a business and a personal level. You need to identify where your business can improve or strengths that can be leveraged. On the personal level, you need to know if you are really good in marketing and poor in accounting. You should hire an accountant. Such a great point. As small businesses, we try to do everything and we just can't. There's no way you can do it all. So that's a great point. Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We have some other upcoming webinars every Tuesday for the next 4 to 5 weeks. If you register for the first webinar, we will automatically register you for the other upcoming webinars. If you're unable to attend, we will always record it. We'll also be sending out the information we discussed tonight, along with an evaluation form for you to complete and let us know what are some things you'd like to see or hear next time. So we're always providing value to all of our clients. If you're not currently a client of the center, we'll also send you a link to complete an intake form to become a client of the center, so we can meet with you to help you start and grow your business. Thank you so much for your time tonight. You earn 5 minutes back of your time. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Have a great rest of the week. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
You can stay on for 1 minute, Len.
Yeah, I will. Very good. I think Mike's still with us. No, okay, there we are. There we are.
All right, we'll stop recording for 1 minute.